Let's talk about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Now, what I think is kind of funny is that there was a time just a couple weeks ago when every Democrat, it seemed, was either going or planned to go or had been to El Salvador to check this guy out, right? And I know there was a female congressman who's like, I'm never leaving El Salvador. Of course, she in fact left shortly thereafter because I saw her back on the floor. But this guy was he was like their George Floyd.
He was their hero.
He was their Hispanic George Floyd.
He was their Hispanic George
right?
Floyd. Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly it stopped. Like Senator Chris Van Hollen from Maryland was just, he makes these clips of himself on social media. Sure enough, he's now blasting Trump for trade and some other stuff. And I'm like,
he forgot about
Kilmar Garcia. And I think we know why, right?
Yeah.
Which is, number one, this guy has turned out to be a domestic abuser with now recordings of complaints that were made by his wife. His wife that has suddenly become very friendly to him because she's raising money off of his name. But the other thing, more recent, this week, a few days ago, Kilmar Garcia was evidently in a car.
A human smuggler.
A trafficker. And in fact,
who knew?
I guess the guy that stops the car even makes some comment to that effect.
Yeah.
So suddenly his case is it started out Maryland man.
Maryland man.
He was just a Maryland man.
That's right.
Right. And then it turned out that they made it sound like he had a clean record for no reason at all. He had just been grabbed based upon a wrong understanding that he's not MS-13.
Yeah.
And they sent him to this horrible prison.
Yeah.
Well, first of all,
and this ex-gangster goes on social media and goes, hey, I know that he's MS-13 because of his tattoos.
Right.
Because he was in a gang and he knows how they camouflage those tattoos. And so they're code for MS-13. What
right. What I found interesting from that gang member or ex-gang member's account is that the MS-13 guy is not going to write MS-13. So one way that he can do it is he will take M and he will take each letter. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. And so he figures out what M is. He puts that number on his knuckles. And similarly for S. So, but obviously to anyone with any kind of knowledge, they know he's MS-13 because in a sense it's a type of a password or a code.
That's right.
Right? But of course to Terry Moran of ABC News or, someone on MSNBC, they're like, we don't see the letters MS-13, so he can't be MS-13. Right?
Yeah.
So suddenly you have...
And the congressmen and senators,
same thing.
Democrats, they're going to die on a hill for this guy. And he turns out to be a really bad guy and an MS-13 member. So I think he is right where he belongs and where he should stay.
Yeah, I do hope, though, that there needs to be some turning of the tide with these judges because there are too many. I mean, basically, you have about 650 of these judges. Let's assume that about a half of them are appointed by Democrats. You have 300 people who can essentially corral the Trump administration on every single thing that they do.
But I mean, can't people I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, just a normal person that's just not political, right?
Yeah.
Can't you see that the majority of the illegals that were gang members and really bad people came through a very porous border because of Biden, i.e. a Democrat? And then can't they see that the majority of these judges that are trying to stop Trump from deporting these people are also Democrat? Can't they see there's a correlation